All right, so what's going on? This is Imu Network. We're back 2024. I'm back here with COMMISHS, bro. What's going on?
Cool, man. Great to see you again.
Man, it's been a long time, right?
Heck yeah, man.
I mean, look, we're literally in a moment where we have going on different journeys and we've been pivoting. You dropped the book.
Yes, sir.
And you've gone on this pilgrimage to see where you are, and I'm excited to hear about this journey because I've been watching it via social media and been watching your growth. So how you been, man?
Man, I've been great, y'all. I mean, since we, parted ways a little while back, I guess it was what, the end of like 21?
Yeah,
Probably the end of 21,
21.
November 21.
Yeah, it was 21.
So it was just, I had to go on my own. You know what I mean? I had to go on a little journey for myself to really see what I wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's been a wonderful ride, because I found myself in a community of like-minded people.
Right.
This whole accountability circle situation, right? So I get in there and I'm introduced to just these new situations, accountability, quarterly goals, and have all these people around me that are just achieving so much. It's like, all right, I like this. I like how it feels. I like this community of like-mindedness. I love the growth mindset. And here is just, it's happening all around me. So I went all in on myself.
So let me spin this back to my people, right? So this is what was going on at the time. COVID just really got started. So it was like everybody was kind of pivoting. They're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. Everybody had to take COVID tests and like really get in places. Summer Jam was happening at the time. We had did a couple of events prior that was like super great. We thought this was about to be like amazing, but this is about to blow up. This is what
we were so close.
This is what we worked for, right? So I said, okay, we're going into it. So now it's like, you talked about doing your own book before, because like obviously, you have such an attachment to Thailand, and I'm like, you're telling me about this story of how you went on this journey, and I'm like so captivated by it, and like, this really inspired you to be a journalist and all this stuff, right? So I'm just like thinking in my mind, like, let's get in front of the camera, let's start doing things. You still really started to develop your own voice at that time. And that's where we kind of like stopped. Like, so it was just like, all right, you was telling me like, yo, I'm gonna go on this tour right after we came from Atlanta. So I'm like, all right, we linked back up. We did this Atlanta thing. You started to build your voice a little bit, and you started dealing with the accountability thing. So who was it with, and why were you so interested in being in that group?
Got you. So for years, like I had been diving into the self-development space, but I've been following Eric Thomas for years. So he had this Breed University situation set up. So that's where I got into Breed University in 2021.
Right.
And 3 months into that, they were changing leadership. So I got chosen to be a lead in this organization. So now it's like I'm literally working alongside of mentors that I had for years. So it blew my mind. Like I'm literally, watching these people from afar for years, wondering how I can kind of get in there in that space, not for anything, but just to learn and to grow. And now I find myself in that space, and now I'm a lead and I'm teaching people, because I'm exponentially growing.
So hold on, man, because everybody don't realize that this is the wordsmith behind IMU Media. So you gotta really like take a hold of. This is the written version of what you're seeing that was on the website. So everything that you might have seen on the websites when it comes to hip hop culture, anything that's happening, this is the person that was doing it. So I'm like, yo, okay, how we trying to get you in front of the camera, and it was kind of difficult.
It was
to be able to put those words and the camera. Some people don't have the optics to be able, like, I'm doing this like freestyle on camera, and I could just hit the ground running and go start speaking to people. Everybody doesn't have that skill. But I realized that you had such an innate skill set that you had to build this personality that everybody was reading about. And I'm like, all right, now I understand where this journey is coming from. Go ahead, now you can go.
Yeah. So after I get in there and become a lead, you know, I set a goal to write this book about my whole Thailand journey. And that whole process just changed the game for me.
Right.
Right. Because now I'm being consistent on a daily basis. Yeah, I was consistent with the media company doing the writing, but I hadn't ever really been consistent with anything for myself. So doing this literally every day, we have the goal flow, right? So it's like my quarter 3 goal is to finish my book. Today I will write 750 words. So for months, I was sitting down and writing 750 words to 1,000 words a day. It didn't come easy at first, but as I started writing every day and finding my voice, it started flowing. And a couple months after that, it was done.
So the accountability becomes to self-development. Like, okay, so you actually had to take these trips to these places. It wasn't just like, you stuck on a computer and like you're on the phone at first. Like, how long was that process before you actually got down to actually meet these people?
So I would say it was probably about 4 months into it was when I started going and doing volunteering at these live events.
Right.
So Atlanta was the first one I got to experience, and that was this speakers boot camp situation they had.
Right. But was that Deion Sanders was there?
Yep. That was actually the event after that. That was the catalyst was the next level, well not next level, but at that time it was Game Changers.
Right.
So they had the boot camp was there, volunteer, made connections, and then the connections I made there led me to another volunteer opportunity, which was at the House of Hope in Atlanta.
Right.
And thing that tripped me out about that, bro, Martin Luther King used to run around there as a kid.
That's crazy.
So like I was literally in the same space where Martin Luther King used to walk around as a kid.
Man.
And just being there and just feeling that whole presence, the energy was crazy in there. And like Deion Sanders was there, like you were just saying, and like got the opportunity just to see him on stage and doing his thing, you know what I mean? And like Tabitha Brown was also there.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, listen. I know the flies on the wall in there was like ringing, like, bro, they dropped some jewels. They had to.
Incredible. Like, and volunteering, it was dope because I was right there in the front, so I got to hear all these jewels of where people were dropping. You know what I mean? And it's just now I'm getting exposed to all this, and like they said, your level of exposure, determines your level of success.
Yes, right.
So now I'm getting exposed to all these great minds and people, and it's like the confidence in me is starting to build even more and more because it's like, all right, well, I have a story to tell too.
Right.
Like it's cool getting to see us, but I'm also on a mission. So that just kept inspiring me even more to get this book done. So now I have something out there that people can put a product to a face in a sense, like my face to a product.
Right.
So give me that credibility.
So we had this thing here, like learning, like we were like developing your brand at the time, and I have this thing about like each and every person has to have their own identity in order for them to become who they are supposed to be. And like when you're a rookie or you're still pretty sharp in the game, being in front of the camera, it is a lot of things that comes with it. Self-development is really one of those things. Accountability. Now, social media is so huge in order for you to put content out and just be able to create some form of brand legacy for yourself, because a lot of people don't know who people are. So TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, all these platforms are so important to understand who new influencers are every day. You got to just be like, wow. So how did the book come along, man, after all of this running around trying to figure out who you are, flash to 2024. You're here. The book's released on Amazon, which is, you guys got to go check it out. He can show you what the book is. Yeah. This is my guy's book, you know what I mean?
Right there, the finished product, man.
The finished product. which is I'm absolutely proud to even be here with a brother that I know for some time now, and you've been talking about dropping your own book. First of all, how your family feel about like seeing it?
They're
Yeah,
proud. Like, it was one of the dopest things, because like to make your family proud of you and hear them say that you're proud of you is, I mean, that feeling is unmatched. You know
right.
what I mean? Like in the acknowledgments, like just remember my sister said she just read that and just started crying. And like I don't
Yeah,
even say much. I just, I shout her out, but like say, you know what I mean? What I say, but it brought her to tears, you know what I mean? And just seeing her big brother, do something that he said he was gonna do and follow through with it. It's like I'm working on setting that example for her, and, you know, taking the lead and showing her that she doesn't have to settle for anything that she's doing in life. Like she can have a goal
and
and
do
achieve
it.
it. Yeah.
I think it's really cool that you got a chance to do this and prove to yourself that you actually can pull this thing off. I mean, like that. How long the process did the book take to finalize?
So from sitting down, writing the words to the formatting, the whole process, I would say it took about start to finish 9 months to maybe a year to get done. And and I thought it would take longer, to be honest. Like I thought
Yeah.
it would be a longer process, but once you start doing it, and then the thing that really helped me out was I had people that had gone there before me and walked the path. So it's like when I got finished writing the book, I didn't have to go figure out, okay, well now what's the next step? I could go to my friend who's an author and just did it, be like, okay, this is done. What's the next move?
Right.
So I was able to consolidate that time from months, in a sense, into days, just by going to somebody who'd already done it. So we go through that process, and then, man, 11/22/23, I decided to drop the book. The biggest party night of the year, you're gonna party with me on the book date. So we released it then, and what has happened since then has just been game changing again, because after I released the book, I actually, it was about 2 weeks prior to releasing the book, I decided to go on a little book tour.
Right. And that's the part where I got a chance to see like on the videos and how much like first of all, like how many cities did you travel to? And like I think you was driving a lot of that, right?
Yes, sir. So we started off in Jersey on October 26th.
Right.
And from Jersey, we hit Cleveland, going through PA, but because I got peoples in Cleveland out there, so went out there, had copies of the book, got opportunity to. So my friend out there, she works at the Ginn Academy.
Right. Yeah.
So
we definitely spoke before. So yeah, tell us a little about the academy and what they do.
Man, so the Ginn Academy, if y'all are not familiar, it is a school in Cleveland where it's an all boys school, but they focus on education, yeah, but they are there to help develop young athletes and get them prepared for college and eventually the ultimate goal, getting into the league. And it's just, I mean, these kids, they're all in. Yeah. And they're all in on one, the academic world, and two, the sports world. So my friend, she's a teacher over there. She gives me the opportunity to come down, visit with her. Went down there, and I didn't know what was going to happen, but she got me in her classroom, and I got to speak in front of 2 rooms full of kids, talking about my book, and then have them asking me questions about it and everything, getting to pour into these kids who was like, I'm from Westmont, New Jersey, you know what I mean? I travel all the way out here.
Garden State, baby.
Yes, sir, Jersey, all day. So it's just like, it's surreal, because it's like all these things are starting to unfold like right before my eyes. And it's all because I sat down and I finished something. And after that, so we hit Cleveland. And from Cleveland, I went to visit friends also in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
So hit there. Got to pour into one of my other people's there. And from there, we were on our way to Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know.
That was, yeah, I mean, that was beautiful. I'd never seen anything like that. Like the Smoky Mountains, just everything was so different than Jersey. You know what I mean? But I was going there for a retreat
Right.
with this other group that I'm a part of. It's called, they are the Prairie Warriors Global.
Okay.
So that is, again, something through the whole accountability situation through like Eric Thomas. It's another branch that he
For those who don't know, it's E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher.
Yes, yep, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. Yes, indeed. So he 30 years ago started this prayer line, and it's all men. So it's just like a space where you can just it's all men of God, which is huge. You know what I mean? But it's not just about the spirituality; it's also about more self development and building your character and whatnot. So I'm around all these men who, I think are doing dope stuff and hold them on, in a sense, like a pedestal almost. You know what I mean? Because I don't think I'm holding a torch to some of these guys, but I get there and man, just they're telling me how dope I am and all the stuff that I've been doing. It's like people are what? It's like, what? You guys know about me and what I'm doing, and you think this? So it's just like this is just building the self confidence in me even more and more.
It's a big world out there.
It is, bro. It's, you know what I mean? And you get to see all these things like firsthand. It opens your eyes. And like, that was the biggest thing about Thailand. Like, Thailand changed my perspective forever.
Right. So then we go and slide back into the book, like, FARANG. Well, all right. So I never got a chance to tell you, what does FARANG mean? Like, cause that's the interesting part. I'm like, okay.
So, right. FARANG. Right?
FARANG.
FARANG in the land of smiles. And FARANG is basically, it's a slang word out there for like a white Caucasian or foreigner. So basically what I am, because I'm walking around out there, bro, I hear all the time, Farang, you Farang? It's like,
right.
Yes, I am. I am a Farang out here. And the land of smiles. And Thailand is definitely known as that for many reasons.
Right. So a lot of people see Hangover and they think like that's like the funny part. Like, when you hear about Thailand, it's like a lot going on there. But you got a firsthand depiction of what's going on there. So tell me about a little bit of what's in the book and what experience you had there.
So in the books is my journey out there. So I've been there 3 different times. So first time was 2014, then 2016 and 2018.
Right.
So in the book is just filled with the stories, the experiences, the lessons that I learned, some of the craziness that I saw out there, the food, the culture, the people, and too out there, like I had a different experience than most people would when they go to Thailand, because I actually have friends that live out there.
Right.
And all my friends out there, they're in the music space, and they're all DJs and entertainers and musicians and creatives. So it's like they have a whole community of these like-minded people, similar to the self-development space, but these are all creatives.
Right.
And it's like they just move out there as a pack of people and everybody supporting each other. And it's
just
a beautiful thing to see. Heck yeah. You know what I mean? And just, I mean, each trip was so different. Like the first time I went,
How long did you spend there?
So I was there for a total of 87 days.
It's a good amount of time.
Yeah, between all 3 trips, because you can stay 30 days, then you got to do the visa situation. So it's, it's almost, we have to stay at least a month when you're out there, because one, the ticket to get out there is a grip plus, and then you're in the air for all that time, so it's like you got to get your worth out of it while you're there. You spend the most time you can and experience everything. So each time was different. So the first time, like I said, I went with just my friend, like my boy, and then the second time went with 2 other friends, and it was, now I get to show them a little bit because I already been there, I had the experience, so it was cool getting to, show them things that I had seen the first time. And then by the third time I go out there, it's like now people out there have been seeing me more. So it's the third time I'm out there. So it's like I get to experience even more of how they're living out there. Like I got to go to some studio sessions, got to go, backstage to some of the live performances they were doing.
Right.
Man, my boy, Kala, we got married out there. So that whole experience, like we were down in,
Like that culture is probably like,
it's,
I mean, like, you know, I hear a lot about, first of all, you know, the food. I mean, I hear the food is like absolutely amazing. I'm not like, you know, the Thai guy, but I know like I've tried certain dishes and they are amazing. So,
oh yeah, like the food at some of the, especially once Sealoam Road out there, some of the best street food in the world.
right.
So it's like, I mean, chicken pad thai, like some of the, like, and the flavors are so
Oh yeah.
authentic and fresh out there too. Like so different than America, because America, you're like pumping everything with the hormones and antibiotics.
Yeah.
Out there, nothing like that, bro. It's
Yeah.
like, I lost so much weight too out there, just being out there. High, but the food, you know what I mean, is the biggest thing I think with that, because it's like, you're not getting so much of that here in America. Like by the time we get out here, it's different. You know what I mean, with the whole stuff they're pumping into them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man,
how about, did you get a chance to experience any like sports? Like, you know, they talk about like Thai boxing and stuff like that. You know, I'm like a avid like blood sport is like one of like, you know, kickboxing and all that stuff. I never got a chance to see it physically live, but I think that's like one of the premier things that they talk about.
Oh yeah, Muay Thai is huge out there. And,
yeah.
Funny story, kind of actually that last time I was out there, I'm with my two friends that I went out there with, and we were in charge of shooting this music video for these cats out there from Africa.
What?
Right? So we're with them, right? We're in Bangkok, but we got to go to this location that's about two hours outside of the city. Right? And with these people, I don't really know them too well, you know what I mean? But it's
that's
like
a risk.
Yeah, oh yeah, you know what I mean? So we start driving and we end up in the middle of nowhere. Like I'm telling you, the middle of nowhere in Thailand, like no cell phone service, no nothing. But where we end up? We end up in this Muay Thai gym with these championship fighters.
Oh, I know what's serious in there.
Dude, it was crazy. Like they're in there getting it in, like, and it was the gym of, I forget the gentleman's name off the top of my head, but he's a championship fighter out there, got his own gym in the middle of like rural Thailand. Like you wouldn't even know it was there. But we got directions from them to get to where we were going to shoot the video, but it was just like, it was for a minute. Yeah, it was legit, but for a minute, I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? I were people I didn't really know, you know what I mean? But it all worked out, you know what I mean? When we got to where we needed to be, we got the video shot, and we made it back. We're here now, so we safe and sound.
You see, the music industry is something else, man. I've never been to Thailand, but I'll tell you what, So how about they talk about like the landmass, like the oceans and all of that, like how was that, like that experience, like the waves, the beaches and stuff like that?
Man, I had never seen that crystal clear turquoise water until like that first time I got there. So Bangkok is about 2 hours van ride from Pattaya. So that's the first time I got to experience that. And man, the islands out there, it's gorgeous. There's like huge mountains. You're surrounded by the clear blue water. And then all of a sudden you look in the distance and probably hundreds of feet up in the air, there's a huge golden Buddha, some temple up in these mountains. Like you look and see how the heck you would even get up there. Yeah, it doesn't even look real. You have no idea how people even get up there.
Right.
But it's like they're up there doing their thing, like like you hear them chant and you see like the smoke going. So it's like people are up there doing their thing in the temple, but it's like it's so surreal because it's like you're entering like a whole new world.
So we're so like American that at times like you kind of get like lost that like the traditional way of living is not the way like rural. And we say third world, but it's actually a whole different world out there. Like me experiencing like traveling abroad, like I believe that's the best style of living. Because things are more culturally based.
Absolutely.
So, like, what's the coolest thing that you noticed about the Thailand culture that you wouldn't see in American culture? Like,
So one of the things, just like I would say, just the vendors, the food vendors on the side of the street, because like you would see them out there all week. They're doing making their soups. They're smiling like, but then one day you wouldn't see them there. But then they'd be there the next day because it's like the day you don't see them, they actually have to go out and get all their own stuff. They got nobody's bringing them the ingredients they need for their soups. They got to go do all that stuff themselves. And it's like they're out there working 10, 12-hour days. And at the end of the day, they're closing up shop and they're all hanging out, drinking and singing in the streets, just smiling. And it's just like they're loving life. But what made me like fall in love with Thailand, right? The first time I go out there, we go to this one spot and it's called Konon Jean. So it's like this fishball soup.
yeah,
Yeah, not my favorite thing to eat, not gonna lie. Because my friends, whatever, they ate it as cheap the first time, whatever, we're on a low budget. So it's like, you gotta do what you
yeah,
gotta
you gotta
do.
do what you gotta do. You gotta get something down. You put something in your stomach so you keep moving. I get it.
That's it. But this fishball soup, never again. As flavor, stayed in my mouth for 3 days, bro. I could not get it out. I couldn't even finish the soup. It tasted like what the air smelled like.
Oh no,
You know what I mean?
a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
People love it too. They, all about it. But it just, wasn't my thing. Because Thailand, the food too, it's got levels to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You gotta get introduced to it slowly at first. You can't just go all in.
Right, like
What I've learned.
like this is McDonald's or something. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna order on the menu and get what I want.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So go there the one night, didn't care for it. About 2 nights later, actually, the first time went, I had left this little notebook, right? Didn't even have anything written in it. Left it behind. Go back 2 days later, my friends go eat at the same spot.
Right.
I go eat across the street, something else. The dude that was working at the soup spot sees me across the street, walks over and hands me the notebook I left there 2 days ago. And I was like, oh, this place is different. Like in America, somebody would have thrown that. Nobody would have cared about that.
Yeah.
But this dude literally held on to it, remembered what I looked like, and I came across the street and gave me back the notebook that had nothing in it. But it's like he didn't need, but it's just like America, that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And it's just like that enamored me with the whole culture. I was like, it's different out here. These people, just the way you're treated is
I mean, which is super dope, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's the tour, right? You're experiencing what you're experiencing. It's your first time on tour in your book, right? What's the coolest thing that you've have been experiencing during the tour that you really appreciate, that would be different before the book drop, and what you've been experiencing like around COVID time, like that change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel like knowing that this is where you are now?
Bro, just like looking back from where I was now, like that first trip was 10 years ago. Bro, that's crazy. I just thought of that right now. It was 10 years ago was the first time I was out there. And so, bro, it's like a 10-year project that, in the making. Like the book is finished now, but I learned and grew so much in that decade from the first time I was out there. It's surreal to even think about now, like reflecting on all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the growth has just been, like I say, growth, we're used to being linear, right? Like a straight path. But it's these last 27 months now since I've been doing the book tour and running around and doing all that and getting in with the accountability group and around all these like-minded people, like the growth for me has become exponential. Like it's nothing like I could even imagine, because 27 months ago, I had just, literally that was when we kind of, parted ways in a sense. We back now, but it's in that time, it's just, the experience, like here doing the whole book tour and meeting people there too, like in Tennessee that I was able to connect with because of through the book, that's also me to more opportunities now. Like I've gotten into like a business partnership with these two guys, where, I'm in there as like a project manager type deal holding them.
Which is good.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. But you told me we'll be doing this 2 years ago, I'd be like, you're crazy. There's no way people are gonna want me to help them organize what they have going on, because
Right.
I wasn't like that, you know what I mean? But now I'm in a position where it's like people really value what I have to say because I've done the work and I've got a product right here.
Listen, first of all, I just gotta congratulate you because it's very hard to finish a book, right? Number one, like, I'm still working on mine. But, obviously, we'll get there. A 10-year process of growth, being able to see where your vision can go from just looking at it to now it's hitting the pages, and then people can like actually buy it and then go on that journey with you is absolutely amazing. I think that's like one of the things that I've seen, like, and then visually watch you grow through your social media and watching you go on those journeys on your own and having like challenges and then still being able to increase your visibility is which was like inspiring to me. Like knowing that we was growing together in the same environment, trying to get something off the ground. I think it's interesting to see like coming together now and it's like, yo, we can really like piggyback off of each other's experiences, knowing that, this is not an easy thing to do, and then also that you've gotten the validation that you were looking for. I think that needs to like be a partner and watch you go through that validation point because you were looking for something at the time, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely was. And it's like, I've learned that, we all kind of need that, what I said, validation, affirmation, confirmation.
Right.
And when you have that, like, yeah, like we shouldn't have to be validated by somebody else or other people. But when we do get validated by our peers and feel like we're seen by our peers, it does something to you inside. It gives you more confidence just to keep going, because it's like, all right, well, I can do this. And it's like, there's no one holding me back but myself and these limiting beliefs that I would have about me before, where it's just like, nah, bro, you are him. And it's time to fully step into who you are. You know what I mean? Because we're all created for a bigger purpose. I feel like if you're connected to the Lord and God, and you got to know, like, we are on this earth for such a bigger purpose. Like, it's never about us.
Really,
and when we can take us out of the equation, it makes things so much easier, because it's like we're here to help so many people with the stories that we have and the struggles that we go through, to show people what it looks like on the other side.
Man, I mean, look, listen, like I said, I'm inspired to just see how much, like I said, we haven't been together in like a couple of years, really, like, like really like every day. So it's like to see the growth, I can hear it in your voice, I can hear it in just the calmness on how you deliver it into the audience. And it's a breath of fresh air, man. Like,
because you got to see me at a different time.
Yeah,
bro.
man. And to be able to understand like that everybody has these levels that they gotta get over in order for you to get to that level that really can like benefit your livelihood, So it's like to see it, and it's a pleasure to go on this journey with you. And FARANG, what I'm saying? Get the book on. Where's it at?
So right now you can get it on Amazon, FARANG in the Land of Smiles. But we just actually, as we were here, we created COMMISHScorners.com. So the book will be available shortly.
Yes, sir.
Through there. But right now you can get it on Amazon. Working on the audio book right now too as we speak. So that'll be a whole other experience you'll get with it. For some extra content, I'm bringing my friend in on that too. She's going to ask me questions and whatnot. So it's, give the listeners a little more.
I got a friend too that could help you narrate it with the illustration version of this. Because
Okay.
I think, I think, a lot of people would really appreciate like a illustration version of what Thailand would look like from your eyes
That would be
perspective.
dope.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't understand, like they never really get off to their blocks or their neighborhoods. So, when you go to the other side of the world, just out of nowhere, and then knowing that you're at the end of Jersey, because a lot of people haven't even been to the end of Jersey where you're from. So like I got the chance to see that got a chance to see it with my own eyes. Never been there and experience, and I'm like, yo, this is his hood, this is his neighborhood, and I can see how two parallels could meet. But like listen, welcome back to IMU Network. You already know FARANG, COMMISHS Corner, Javon Creek. You know what time it is, and make sure you stay tuned. We just got through watching the Grammys, and we looking to be. Stay tuned this summer, man. It's about to be real interesting, man. So look, you know what time it is. Hey, follow IMU Network, follow COMMISHS Corner. Make sure y'all go to Amazon, and we back. IMU Media, CEO, and I'm out. Peace, bro.
Later.